Okay. So we've been through the whole entire shebang in reference to from the top here. We went through a different couple different presets, and we've kind of gone through a couple different presets over here in reference to the adjustment layers that are non-destructive. And you see, you can get it. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Right when you get into here, there's some things. Is a selective color. You can go into here and you can select a different color, your different yellows, and then let's go ahead and kind of bring this up over here and bring this down over here, and you can see the yellow starting to really jump out in reference to the chairs there. Okay, so let's go ahead and take that back there, and then you can see you can do a different custom little preset there, but they're pretty much all the same, but they're very effective. What I want to do here is I want to kind of come over here, get rid of that right there. So we're done with this. I'm not going to go through each and every single one of them because you get it, you got it. I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here to, I just seen it and I just lost it. That's one thing in reference to Photoshop that's easily done, is that you can easily lose something. It's almost like, and try not to even you know um, get into trying to retain too much at one time, because you will kind of get lost after a while. So when I get back over here to this photograph here, and the reason why I bring this one up right here is because we're going to start talking about the different things in reference to the HDR toning, and I cannot find it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here to help. Never forget your help tool there. I use it quite often. So if we go to adjustment and we go to HDR toning there, as a Photoshopper and a photographer and a person that adjusts photos and everything, you have your HDR toning. So here's a very powerful tool. We have the city twilight, and you see it just kind of blanked out my whole entire sky. We have the flat adjustment there, makes it look a little darker there, and Melicatrano, whatever, you know, um, and you have all your different little presets available to you here. We're going to come down here. We're going to jump right down here to a different preset right here, and we are working on a destructive layer here, so kind of be careful of that. You can say exposure and gamma. You can kind of play around with that, and the exposure, kind of like what we've seen before. You've seen this before right here. We're going to cancel that right there and get rid of that. So let's go back over here to the help. We have the HDR toning right here. And let's get back to the HDR toning dialog box. And we have our presets. And like I mentioned before, never be afraid to adjust anything. We have our strength, our smooth edges, the gamma right here. We can kind of adjust and play around with the exposure right here, the advance, and the toning curves. Here's the histogram in reference to kind of playing around with it. So it could be a matter of you just kind of coming over here to your the HDR toning and kind of playing around with the HDR in reference to seeing what you can get done pretty quickly, pretty easily, in reference to just jumping right in there and kind of playing around and see what you can do with your photographs to make it, like I mentioned before, make yourself really stand out as a photographer. Because I would say, I don't know, I mean, this is just a opinion of mine in reference to making adjustments in or just being a photographer. Honestly, in my opinion, it's a matter of, I would say maybe 50% photography, and I would say 50% would be within your honestly within your editing. And like I said, you don't want to spend a whole lot of time within your edits and everything in reference to coming over here to Photoshop, spending a whole lot of time with your edits. You just want to make sure certain things look really good. You can see the shadow and highlights that I created there. It is affecting that layer right there, so that is destructive. So make sure that you make that copy of your image that you're working with, so you are able to go back if you ever need to. Another thing I want to do is I want to show you over here in the color range. Over here in the color range, you can come over here with your eyedropper tool. You see we can select, and if you hold shift, you can kind of select more of the sky, and it's leaving the girl alone there. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just bump things up over here and bring things down to get that nice selection. We hit OK, and it's going to give us selection more of the blues. Let's go ahead and hit Command J, create a new layer. Only thing we have there is the blue stuff. And if you want to kind of adjust that, the blue stuff there, then you can start to get into the brightness and contrast, and we see we can kind of brighten up. I'm on the wrong layer there. It happens. um, Let me come over here, and I'm going to create a clipping mask because I only want to affect the image right below it. Okay, so actually I'm doing this wrong. Let me get rid of that right there, and let me come over here to these, and this is the difference in reference to your brightness and contrast, which you're affecting. So we only want to affect this layer, and this is where you're going to be a little destructive on this layer, but we already made ourselves a copy, so you can make it look like a storm is coming if that's what you want to portray in reference to your sky. And you see what you can do here. Everything I'm doing is pretty much with a preset in Photoshop versus a really getting in there with the paintbrush and adjusting certain things and doing certain things in reference to Photoshop, if that's what you want to decide to do. So, this concludes the whole entire course. I mean, you've done it all, you know it all, you know what's going on in reference to your preset adjustments. The only thing I really did not cover, because I do have a course in reference to Photoshop, is in reference to the different layers. I mean, not the layers, but the different filters. So you come over here to the filters, and you say over here you have the camera raw filter, which is a filter now, lens correction, the liquefy, the oil painting, the vanishing points, all kind of different things. The filter gallery right here consists of all kind of different things. Let's go ahead and explore over here real fast. I'm just messing with the little copy that I created there, and you see I put the dark strokes there. We'll go ahead and just adjust that there, and you can see what it kind of does to the sky there. And we can double click this layer right here, and we can go over here to give it a granite type feel. We can give it a color overlay and make it red. We can come over here to an inner glow. Have all kind of different little fun with it. Give it more of a drop shadow if we decided we wanted to, and really have a lot of fun in reference to our edits. And we can still come over here, and we can go to our curves adjustment, and we can still add in let me go over here, select this right over here. Let's actually go to auto like we've been doing, and we can add in our curves adjustment. I want to come off that pencil there. I don't want that pencil there. So let's go ahead and bring that back there, and then we can come over here and we can bump things around, get into our little S curve here, and have a little fun with it here. And the most beautiful thing is with the layer mask that I also show in my Photoshop 5-minute tutorial here. I'm going to add a layer mask. I'm going to select the brush here. I'm going to get a better brush there, a soft brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I layer mask out everything that was affected over here. I don't want to affect anything but the sky. So I'm just going to paint with a little brush here on that layer mask to make sure that we're not affecting anything but the sky. Let's go over here and grab that pole there. Bring that brush down a little bit more, and let's get that pole. This is a real sloppy bang up job, but you see how the sky has some strokes there to really give that illusion in reference to the sky over here with the photo that we've done with a few preset adjustment layers. So I mean, that's it. That's all it is to it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Definitely looking forward to hearing from you. So please reach out in any type of way you can and let me know that you enjoyed or you learned something right here within these presets. Even if you're a professional, I definitely want to hear from you. If you've been using Photoshop for years and you just honestly did not necessarily know that some of these different settings were available to you. All right. Thank you so much. Goodbye now.